Hey y'all, it's your girl Morgan DuPont back at it again with another video. So I figured I'd share one last he didn't know I was trans story, okay? Because I know y'all enjoy that. Y'all like to laugh at my pain. Now let me stop. But I'm having a beautiful walk over the bridge, as y'all can see. So I was talking to this guy on Tinder. You know, he seemed really cute, honey. You know, seemed like, you know, he had a good head on his shoulders. You know, seemed like you know, just a nice guy. And, you know, he had his little Dior tracksuit on, honey, and his photos. But, you know, he got some style. I mean, not that you have to wear name brand or designer. Because, you know, you can thrift and look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been that kind of girl to be like, oh, he has to wear design. No, I'm not like that. Just look presentable, look cool, look stylish. You know what I'm saying? Like, so anyway, we were having a conversation, and the conversation moved to a FaceTime call because he told me he wanted to really talk to me, hear my voice, see my face, all of that. So then I get on this FaceTime call with him, and first thing I noticed is that, okay, he loves his tracksuit, honey. He really loves this well, that was a cutie, honey. He was Asian. He was like living for me just now. But anyway, so whatchamacallit? He just like really fucked with my train of thought. So I noticed, like, okay, this guy really must love this tracksuit, honey, because he had the same tracksuit. Unless you was taking pictures the same day, honey. I don't know, that tracksuit. I mean, he's getting his you know, his money's worth, I guess. He's like, I'm gonna wear this shit, okay? So we started talking, and then started like just pouring his heart to me, and it kind of became a little bit of a, I guess, of a therapy session, which was, you know, red flag 101. But I'm not a mean person. I'm like, okay, cool, fine, let's talk. Well, let him talk, because he was really talking and like venting and letting me know how he felt, whatever. So I'm like, okay. So, you know, he's telling me all these things. He tells me that he's gang affiliated, honey. He's part of the Bloods, sweetheart. And I was like, ooh. I was like, he a gangsta. He a G. I like a G. I like a no, I don't. No, I don't. Because you ain't gonna come up and shoot up the place, honey. If I wear red, if I wear blue, you ain't gonna make my eyes black and blue, because, you know. I mean, it's not. I know it's not like that. Like back in the day, where it's like, you know, if you wear the same color or like the same bandana, then you kind of get, you know, things used to end badly. But nowadays, it's not like that. So, you know, he's pouring his heart out to me, but he seemed really empathetic, seemed really sweet, seemed really nice, and very persistent and adamant about his attraction to me. Keep in mind that on my page, I was real. I kept it real. Honey, I wasn't lying. Honey, about who I was. You know, that's like the first thing I put on my profile on Tinder, like trans.com, trans.org. I am trans. I am a transsexual. You know, very much that. So, fast forward, he tells me, like, what's she doing tonight? Like, you know, no, not tonight. It was actually the next day. Because we had a second conversation the next day over FaceTime, and he seemed more like bubbly, more in good spirits, because the first time I'm telling you, it was like a therapy session for him, honey. And I was like, I became his on-call therapist, honey, without a check. But it's okay. It is what it is. I was like, okay, he's cute. At least, you know, he had a beautiful, like a really gorgeous smile. And I'm like, I'm a sucker for a good smile. So, you know, we were talking again, and he tells me, oh, like, what you doing tonight? Do you want to, like, grab something to, grab a little bite. We could get something to eat really quickly. And I was like, we can. So he comes to my neighborhood. And, all seems well. All seemed good. He was, like, I guess, very close by to me. And, he asked me, like, what I want to eat. I was like, I'm a bit spontaneous. That's just like, we'll pick when we downstairs. We'll figure it out. Before we were gonna go somewhere, actually, I had, told him, I'm like, oh, like, because he mentioned he smoked. I had a little weed. He had some, and I was like, he wanted to smoke me. He was like, oh, sure, like, like, do you want to? I think he drove to me, if I'm not mistaken. Did he drive to me? No, he took the subway. Yeah, he took the subway because he was drinking. So, but he had mentioned, like, oh, you want to smoke, and before, like, we eat, and I was like, oh, sure, like, how about you just come upstairs first, come to my place, pull it up, and then we'll smoke, and then we'll just go, with our, looming appetite. He comes through, honey, same tracksuit, honey. I'm telling you, he loved this tracksuit. After, in my head, I'm like, okay, honey. Like, I mean, you could have been a little bit more, versatile. Like, you could have, changed it up a little bit. For whatever reason, I guess he decided I was the best choice. So anyway, I'm a judge of character, not a judge of, of wardrobe. I shouldn't be paying attention to that, but I did. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of noticed that because I'm like, yo, does that tracksuit stink, honey? Like, anyway, but he comes through, really cheesy smile, happy that I was the girl in the video, I was the girl in the pictures, and he was really cute. I'm not gonna lie, he was an attractive guy. He sits down, we roll up, we start smoking, and we're talking, chit-chatting up, and then he asked me if I want a shawty. I don't want to be talking about DRUGS on this platform like that, but if you know what a shawty is, I don't know. I don't want to explain it too much, but basically, you passing the situation from thy mouth to the other person's mouth. So, he gives me a shawty, I take it, I pull. I'm a little lit. So that I started talking about, like, I started to get a little deep, honey. And I started talking about my transness and being trans. Rewind. Before I talk about my transness, when he gives me a shawty, since we were so close to each other, he ended up kissing me. And then I kissed him back. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was just like a little tap kiss. And then, then we, we giggled. So as I'm talking, being high, talk about being trans and, like, I don't know. I forgot what it was exactly that it said about being trans. I don't know why. I thought it was something he already knew, considering it was on my page. And then he looks at me. He's like,
what? Like, what the fuck? You telling me you're a fucking man? You're a dude? You're a fucking dude?
And I'm like, don't play with me right now. Like, don't play. Don't blow my high. Like, I don't got time for the jokes. Like, stop. I'm really thinking, like, he's joking. Like, it's an ignorant joke, but he's joking nonetheless. So, he kind of gets up, and as every other story, I mean, he wasn't really pacing back and forth, but he was like, like walking a bit, and he was just like,
what the fuck? Like, yo, like, I'm blood. Oh my God, I kissed the man.
Girl. And I'm like, no, he didn't. No, he did not. Like at this point, like, he's getting aggressive. He's talking about,
yo, like, that's crazy. Like, nah, like, I mean, we cool. We could just chill. But nothing else is happening. Like, I ain't fucking you.
I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yo, we're supposed to just hang out and have something to eat. Like, nobody's saying about getting fucked, okay? I usually try not to, let a first date get to that. I mean, as I'm an adult and I'm grown now, like, I really don't get into things on the first date. Unless it's, like, meant to be that, and, like, we're, like, both parties are aware that that's, what we want. So, I'm like, okay. I was like, I was uncomfortable. Like, he's talking about like,
Yo, talking about his boys, how if his boys knew that he just kissed the bull, oh man.
and like he's being disrespectful. Like he's like saying all this stuff and looking at
I mean, like, yo, that's crazy. You got a girl. Like, nah. You filed for that.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not responsible for your attraction to me. Let the train go by. Like, don't put that on me because it was on my page and whatever. I told him, so you don't have to stay here. You can go. He had a bottle of tequila, and then he was like, nah.
It's cool. Like, you know, I came all the way out here. Like we could just hang, but we ain't doing nothing.
I'm like, okay, that's fine. So, you know, we're kind of like, I'm trying to change the subject. We're kind of trying to talk about something else. And like, he's still kind of making like little comments here and there. He starts drinking. Fast forward. The alcohol brings the truth out, honey. And then he started looking at me and saying,
like, oh, like, yo, no lie, it's crazy. You really look like a girl. Like, if I get really drunk, I might eat that ass.
honey. And this was a situation where I felt like he knew I was trans, and he just wanted to cause havoc. He wanted to play on my, like, he wanted to play with my ego. He wanted to like fuck with my self-esteem. He wanted to play games. Or he really didn't know, but even if he didn't know, he really didn't give a fuck. He knew I was pretty, I smelled good, I looked good, and he wanted to fuck. So I told him, I was like, no thank you, I'm good. He's still there, like, talking and like, you know, saying little slick things out of his mouth. Like, now he's feeling like attracted to me, and I'm like, so yo, I was trying to take off my makeup, y'all. I took my makeup wires, I started to take off my makeup, honey. I was ready to reveal the monster. Let me stop. It's not a monster, but I started to, like, I was like, I'm going to bed. Like, I'm getting ready for bed. I'm not going to deal with this shit. Like, and then he's like, oh, you want me to go? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, all right. And I was afraid. I'm not going to lie. He made me really nervous. He made me really antsy. I thought he was going to really hit me because he was talking about his gang and his gang affiliation. He would be mad aggressive, calling me a man. So before he leaves, like he wants to give me a hug, and then he gives me like this really long, touchy hug, and I was just like, anyway, y'all. For the guys, on these apps, do your research, fucking read. You know what I'm saying? I don't walk around with a stamp that says tranny on my forehead. You know what I'm saying? I put the information out there if I'm on a dating site. I mean, I'm not on dating sites at this moment. I'm not really interested in dating. But, I'm sure there's other girls that do the same thing. And, like, to put somebody in that predicament is not cool. Because that was your work to do, in my opinion. So that was a short, long story. That's pretty much what happened. So after that, I was just like, you know what? I cannot with these guys. I cannot. So I love you all. Subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things. Turn on your notification bell so that you always know when I upload. Okay. Let's get that body. All right. I love you all.
No tiene un fin. Mueve la cintura, así, así. Una noche más, así, así. Una noche más.